November 22nd, 1987. A night that would go down as one of the creepiest moments in broadcast history. It's known as the Max Headroom Incident, and to this day, it remains unsolved. Picture this. It's just after 9 p.m., and viewers of WGN-TV are tuned into the evening news. Suddenly, during the sports segment, the screen goes black. Moments later, a figure appears.
Defense, which hadn't put up a sack in 12 quarters, finally did.
A man in a rubber Max Headroom mask, swaying erratically in front of a spinning corrugated metal background. For those unfamiliar, Max Headroom was a fictional AI character from the 80s, known for his glitchy charm and Coca-Cola ads.
Hi, this is Max Headroom, live down under. Normally I'd say sunglasses are ostentatious.
But this wasn't the suave TV star people knew. The signal lasted about 25 seconds, filled with a loud buzzing noise. No audio, just eerie visuals. Engineers scrambled and managed to regain control.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I. Actually, the computer that we have running our news from time to time took off and went wild. So what we're going to do is start over from the top with the Bears.
But 2 hours later, at 11 p.m., the hijackers struck again. This time on PBS station WTTW during an episode of Doctor Who. And this time, they had sound. The masked figure rambled incoherently, mocking sportscaster Chuck Swirsky, singing snippets of a cartoon theme, and yelling about his piles. Then, things took a turn for the surreal. The camera cut to the figure bending over, exposing his bare buttocks, while a woman in a French-made outfit spanked him with a fly swatter.
Way to learn.
I'll get you a hot drink, miss.
I've seen some dry clothes.
As far as I can tell, a massive...
The broadcast lasted 90 seconds before the hijackers cut it off themselves. No engineers were on duty to stop it. The FBI and FCC launched a massive investigation.
But the odds, I'd say, if a guy continues to involve himself, either sporadically or continuously, it's very great that we will determine who it is.
Who was behind it? A prankster? A disgruntled employee? A tech-savvy lunatic? Theories abound. Some point to amateur radio enthusiasts, others to a group with a grudge against WGN. But despite decades of speculation, no one was ever caught. The Max Headroom incident remains disturbing, not just for its absurdity, but for the sheer audacity and the lingering mystery of who pulled it off. November 26th, 1977. It's a quiet Saturday evening, and families are gathered around their TVs watching the news on Southern television. At 5:10 p.m., the broadcast is suddenly overtaken by a deep, distorted voice claiming to be Vrion, a representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command.
The war, allowing Gibraltar to take on negotiations, being arrested. In Australia, Mr. Perry Packer's cricketers are still pleading the right. Yesterday's High Court decision which lifts the ban on them playing in test matches.
This is the voice of Oman. representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. For many years you have seen us as lights in the skies. We speak to you now, you service them as we have done to your brothers and sisters all over this, your planet Earth. We come to warn you of the destiny of your race and your world, so that you may communicate to your fellow beings the course you must take to avoid the disaster which threatens your world and the beings on other worlds around you.
Yes, you heard that right. An alien message live on air. For 6 minutes, Vrion delivered a chilling warning to humanity. Disarm your weapons, abandon war, and live in peace, or face expulsion from the galaxy. The voice droned on as the news anchor's audio faded, leaving viewers stunned. Some thought it was real, others assumed it was a hoax. When the signal finally cut out, the station returned to normal, and an apology followed. The UK's Independent Broadcasting Authority quickly labeled it a prank. But how did it happen? Experts determined the hijacker used a powerful transmitter to override the station's signal from a nearby location, likely Hannington, Hampshire. The equipment wasn't cheap, and the planning suggested technical expertise. Was it a group of science fiction fans? A political statement disguised as extraterrestrial prophecy? No one knows. The culprits were never found. What makes this hijacking so disturbing is the existential dread it sparked. For those 6 minutes, some viewers genuinely believed aliens were speaking through their TVs. Even today, it raises questions. What if it wasn't a hoax? What if Vrion's warning was real?
Great awakening as the planet passes into the new age of Aquarius. The new age can be a time of great peace and evolution for your race, but only your rulers are made aware of new forces that can overshadow their judgments.
April 27th, 1986, and HBO viewers on the East Coast are watching The Falcon and the Snowman. At 12:32 a.m., the screen flickers and a message appears over SMPTE color bars. Good evening, HBO from Captain Midnight. $12.95 per month? No way. Showtime Movie Channel beware. For 4.5 minutes, this pirate transmission interrupted HBO's satellite feed, seen by millions. Unlike our previous cases, this hijacker didn't stay anonymous for long. His name was John R. McDougal, a 25-year-old electrical engineer from Ocala, Florida. McDougal worked at a satellite teleport and ran a struggling satellite dish business. He was furious at HBO's rising subscription prices, $12.95 a month, which he blamed for tanking his sales. Using his access to a satellite uplink, McDougal overpowered HBO's signal with a dish and a character generator. It was a bold protest, and it worked briefly. The FCC tracked him down after a tip from a man who overheard him bragging at a rest stop. McDougal pleaded guilty, paid a $5,000 fine, and got a year of probation.
Florida man today faces a $5,000 fine and a year's probation. The man, known as Captain Midnight, illegally interfered with an HBO satellite transmission last April. Robert Hager has the story.
John McDougal, #1 on the Federal Communications Commission wanted list. The Federal Communications Commission? It was McDougal, the agency said, who interrupted an HBO movie with the message, "Good evening, HBO, from Captain Midnight. $12.95 a month? No way." A reference to HBO's newly imposed charge to anyone wanting to unscramble its satellite transmissions. And McDougal's sale of backyard satellites like these had been hurt because HBO was charging to unscramble the pictures. McDougal also happened to work part-time at the Central Florida Teleport, a satellite ground station in Ocala, Florida.
He later said he had no regrets, only wishing people understood his motives better. While less creepy than masked figures or alien voices, Captain Midnight's hijacking is disturbing in its implications. It exposed the vulnerability of satellite TV, a new frontier in the 80s, and showed how one angry man could disrupt a media giant. It's a reminder, even the airwaves can become a battleground. August 20th, 1987, a day when a live broadcast turned into a real-time nightmare. It's 4:42 p.m., and KNBC Channel 4 is airing its afternoon newscast. Consumer reporter David Horowitz is on set, delivering his segment when a man walks up behind him, points what looks like a handgun at his back, and hands him a stack of yellow legal papers. His demand: read this statement on air, or else.
Because, you know, one of the nicest things about shopping by mail order... Pardon me? What is this? Let me see what it says. All right.
He's got a gun to his back.
All right, well, let me read this. Folks, we have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name or not? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
At that point, the control room was ordered to go to black, kill the studio mics, and put up a standby slide. But Horowitz continued to read, and the gunman kept the gun in his back.
I was warned in 1981 by someone with connections at the CIA to stay off the computers, that they didn't trust people on computers. When I began receiving disturbing calls from my parents, which led me to believe that something terrible was going on, I was then forced into a mental hospital in Tallahassee, where I learned that my brother-in-law had been driven insane in the same manner that someone was trying to do to me.
The intruder was Gary Stolman, a 34-year-old from Tallahassee, Florida, and son of former KNBC pharmaceutical reporter Max Stolman. Horowitz, remarkably calm, began reading the rambling manifesto, claims about the CIA cloning his father, alien conspiracies, and secret mental hospitals. Viewers saw the gun and heard Horowitz's voice for just 28 seconds before the station cut to black. News director Tom Capra made the call. No gunman would hold their airwaves hostage. The screen switched to the NBC logo, then promos, leaving Stolman unaware his message wasn't airing. For 7 tense minutes off-air, Horowitz kept reading, fearing for his life, while Stolman held the gun, later revealed to be an unloaded BB gun. When he finished, Stolman set the weapon down, saying, "Thank you, David." Anchorman John Beard grabbed it, and police arrested Stolman. He was put on 3 years probation and sent to a mental facility after a history of delusions came to light. This wasn't a signal override, but a physical takeover, disturbing in its immediacy. Horowitz later campaigned to ban realistic toy guns, shaken by how close it felt to tragedy. It's a stark reminder that the line between broadcast and chaos can be as thin as a studio door.